So on the front we have fairly the same thing going on, so we are going maybe just to copy and paste it. But I see we have another problem here, so we have to address that quick. It's very easy. We have just to select the front of the faces here, so this here, and we're going just to put them outside of the object. Obviously, yeah, we have to do the other thing too, the other side. So just resolve that quick. Now we are fairly good. So this one is a little bit too much. And now we are going to stick with here at the front. So to do that, as I mentioned, it's fairly the same thing. So we have just to select here the area. I'm going back to medium point. I'm going just to put the beginning here on this point and then extruding all the way outside. So like that. Alright, we need the right scaling here. So I'm just putting right in the middle. I think I'm going to do the other way maybe. Should be maybe a little bit easier. So like that. So we don't have any problems with the intersecting. Alright, now we have just to scale that, but we have to scale it accordingly to the medium point. So we're going to scale it right in this way. That's important. And then just scale it like you're in this area. Like that. Alright, so done this. I'm going to put that all the way aside. That was the wrong one. I have to take the other one. I was just a little bit confused. But basically, we have just to do here this shield. I'm going to show you. We have to do here on the front the shield. Then we have this little details here, and then we have a lot going on inside here. But to begin with, we are going to make the shield. We're going to make the holes. We're going to make the I don't really know how to call it, but we are going to make that. And so let's go. Or maybe, I'm just thinking about, maybe we can just select that, duplicate it, scale it by -1, and basically we have it right done. Yeah, that's a good idea, we can do that, but I have just to mark that as sharp. So we calculate outside, and the first one is done. Basically we can do all the stuff we have done on the back. You can do it on the front. So just select here the object. We're going to select all the stuff here. And this here. Oh, let's do it in another way. We have to separate it. Perfect. We have to select them. You can just select that, duplicate it. But it's very important that you go to face select. Without face select, you haven't the faces inside here. So let's redo that. Face select, select all of them. Scale it by -1 on the y-axis. And now we can put it here, but we have to delete this part. So we have just to copy and paste that. I'm going to activate here a point right sitting on that spot. So we can just drag it here. Select all by distance, so it's connecting, and we have our details right in the right area. Calculate outside, and we have done this. Perfect. We have a little bit of a difference. So we have a difference on this point, and we have a difference on this area here. So as you can see, we have it split in two, so we have to make it a little bit bigger, and we haven't that bulb area like on the back, so we have just to assign that quick. So to do that, first of all, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, so we have a little bit more space on that, but don't forget to scale that too. That's fine. Then we have just to go a little bit back with that. All right. So the next thing we are going to add here is a loop cut. Right in here, bevel that, like that. Then we are going just to extrude it, cancel extrusion, scale it with the exclusion of the y-axis. And we have to scale it on the z-axis a little bit. So we can just make some interesting details in here. I'm just looking if the face yeah, I thought about that. The face orientation is wrong, so we have just to recalculate that. And basically we are going to copy and paste this stuff here. So let's just take that, put it right here. We have to scale it down. So I think we can start with this. So we need the back. And now it's important that we are right in the area. So we're just going to scale it down, but we have to be under this line. So scale it all the way down. So on the top we are good, but on the bottom, on the side we have this problem again. So we have just to do it manually. To do that, I'm going to select the whole things we have selected. Control I to invert the selection to hide the rest. So we can just address our sides here. So I think it's starting with, let's see, it's starting with so all these things here. Alright, that's looking fine. Don't worry about the back here. We are going to address that soon. But we have just to do first the other side. Alright, we have it all outside of the object. It's looking fine. It's a sudden detail, but it's coming to life here. And for the back, we are just addressing that now. I'm going to, I think I'm going to isolate the view for a second, because we have just to slide here the loop cuts. Let's see how we can do that. Maybe we are going just to select these edges. So just take that, put it on the front, so we can delete the other side. Let's see how we can just take that. It's a little bit difficult now. I don't want it to take it. I think we have to do it. We have to take it one by one, and then we can just delete that. Alright, perfect. So it's looking fine so far. Maybe this one is a little bit too much. I'm not really sure. Maybe we have just to make this here a little bit bigger. So like that. Perfect. Alright, let's go to the next spot. As you can see on our reference, we haven't any detail here in the middle, so we have to just delete them. So we're going to do that next, and then we are going to close here this area. I think we can just make here some type of extrusion inset and so on. And the last thing we are going to do for this detail is this area here. Then we are fairly done with this here. Alright, let's go. So we need to delete the bottom and the top here. So I'm going just to select them. And we have to delete this here and the same thing on this here, but we have just to select obviously the rest on the bottom. And now we're good, perfect. So let's add now this detail on the front. For that we have just to delete here the front. Just take that, delete it. And I think we can use that just to make this inset type. I'm just thinking about maybe we're going to make that a little bit bigger. So just scale it outside. Not too much. That's fairly enough. And extrude it a little bit outside. So we have this type of inset extrusion here. This type of border, better to say. And now we can just close that. And inside here we can just make our details, but obviously we have just to scale that. And you see we aren't really flat here, so I'm going to do that by simply pressing SY0. to flatten that, but it's not working. It's not really working. Maybe if we just type in flat. Oh, it's already flat. I don't really know where it's coming from. Ah, now it's flat, okay. I think it was a problem with the shading maybe. So here the same thing. Make sure you're flat. And I think we can just scale that maybe. So we have a little bit of a scaling here. Alright, let's do now this type of detail inside here. I think I'm going just to add some type of cube maybe to start with. So add mesh cube. We're going to scale that down like the size we have to. I think that's a good size. So I'm going to add a loop cut here so we can delete one side. Add a mirror modifier on that. And we are going to begin with just by make it maybe. I think we are in the right side here. In the right size. Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to start with just bevel that. So then we have to select here. I'm going to first of all add another loop cut in the middle so we can delete the bottom part too. So we're going to work just with the upper part. Let's just bevel that. Looking good. I'm going to, let me think, maybe to add here a loop cut. Or maybe the bevel is a little bit too much. I'm going to undo this quick. Just a little bit of a bevel. So we can add a loop cut in the middle. And then we are going to extrude that, scale it by Y0. So we can just grab it and put it here. We are going to delete the faces inside. And I think it's still too big, so I'm going to make that a little bit smaller, the gap inside. Let's try to bevel that. Alright, looking so far good. It's a little bit too big, so I'm going just to select here this area, make it smaller. So like that. And the inside area too. So I just want to add now, let's see, maybe some curved things. We have just to think about how we can do this, maybe with some shear. Let's try. So I'm going to make that a little bit bigger and I'm going to activate here the point, active element. And if you want to shear, you can simply open the T panel. On the T panel, you have this option down here. It's the shear. And with that, just slide it maybe. Oh, that was the wrong one. Slide it like that. You see, we need a little bit more space. So I'm going to make that bigger. So we can shear it a little bit more. And it's looking good so far. So close that again. I'm going to go into isolate view so we have it just isolated. That's fine. And now we have just to add these details in here. So it's simply just go into the edit mode. We have to go back to that. And I'm going to add one on one side. So we have to add here a loop cut, but it's not going all the way through. So we have just to close that. To do that, simply add a point here. Go to this. Join them together, and we have to do it on this too. Join them together, and now we can simply close that. And we can just add a loop cut going all the way through. Alright, so I'm going to make that flat, so it's not jaggy as here, so as C0. And now we can just drag that outside. I'm going to do it maybe in this side, that's fine. Don't do it too much because the area here has to be a little bit, yeah, we have to have here a little bit of space. So let's try it by adding another loop cut here. And let's try just to delete here the faces, but we have to add here another one. And the other one of on the top has to be right on the spot. So I have to take that and just grab it. but we are destroying our shapes, so just go down again. So we don't have any shading problem. And now you can delete here the faces. So as I mentioned, the spot is a little bit too small or big. So we're going to make that a little bit bigger here. Like that. Going just to put that maybe on this point, a little bit smaller. Alright, now I just want to select here the points, so we can bevel that, but when I just beveling, you see we can't really do that, so just press Command-Shift-B, so you can bevel that with the points. Alright, let's close it. So here we have a problem, just to fix that quick. What's this point here? Oh, okay, that's that one. I just want to have this all the way flat. Now it's closing a little bit better. Alright, the other thing we have just to add is a little bit of, how can I tell? We have just to make it with some steep angle here. So it's simply to do that, just select here the point. Or maybe we are going to do it in another way. I'm going simply by cut that. So press the K button and then with the Z button to cut all the way through. You have just to cut it here, but I just want to have it in the same angle as this face here, this edge here. So I'm going to select that, duplicate it and put it right here. So we have to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to use that as a reference to cut. Right, it's fine. Same thing here. So I have this reference, we can just cut with that. Or another thing you can do is by simply take the points here and just drag it along the line. Alright, done that. Now we need just some holding bar. I don't know how to call it, but up here is some other things going on. So I'm going to add a loop cut, one on the other side, so we can delete here the face. We can select here the loop, here the same thing, bridge, edge loops, and we have closed that. Alright. Looking like I want here. I don't really know. No, I think maybe it's going inside. So let's do that instead of doing it in this way. I'm going to undo this quick until we have closed that again. Now we can just insert that, delete the face, select them, and bridge edge loops. So we have a little bit of a variation here inside. That's looking better. Then I just want to make this area flat. So I'm going to do fairly the same thing, just steal here the edge. So I can take this as a reference. We're going to select all of them here and just put it on these points. So we have destroyed a little bit the shape. Don't worry, I'm going to just undo this quick, just to ensure we are right on the point. Yeah, it's looking fine so far. So let's put it here. And here we have a little bit of a mess. So I'm going to put it maybe here. Adjust that quick. And the same thing. Oops, I have just to take obviously now the right one. And we cleaned that mess. Perfect. So what else we can do here? So I think we are going to leave that like that. So can just select all of them, put it a little bit inside so it's not poking out. It's looking cool.